Hi, Evelyn. How you doing? Um, I've got your work up, and also let me see. Here are my thumbnail sketches for letterhead business card envelope. Let me know if you get confused. Any suggestions? And comments are welcome. Let's go ahead and take a look at the work. So we got the work. We got each letterhead now. And one thing I want to mention is that Amy did mention this in her response, and I agree. These are really big. I mean, you're taking up almost a quarter of the page. This is an 8.5 by 11. The way that this is, and I know you're probably doing this just so we can see the logo, but just so you know, that's a good quarter of the page. So that's just too big for the logo. I would suggest the logo take up a much smaller area. This will open up the page of the letterhead, allow it to be more versatile and used in many more different applications than what you're showing here with this giant. So if you have this logo right here, theoretically, your live area for the page would only really be there. So if the logo is small like this up there in the corner like that, theoretically that's your whole live area of your page. So I would recommend doing as such. Not sure what this is right here, GNSA. Is that your word mark? And if so, I wouldn't mix your word mark with your logo. Stick with one. You got some other considerations here. You've got this frame around the letterhead. I recommend not framing your letterhead in because it kind of encloses everything within the letterhead and letting it, as opposed to letting it really breathe. It's kind of just boxed in. Same thing here. You got these stripes, these diagonal stripes along the top and top left and bottom right corners. And again, it's kind of confining things within that area. Plus, we haven't introduced that before in anywhere in your identity. So I say don't introduce it now. Plus, if you introduce something like this, it's probably going to be considered a best practice in terms of design consistency for you to use those same design elements in your business card and in your envelope as well, which is going to be problematic when you think about it. So for those reasons, I would suggest not using an iteration as such. Then finally, this iteration here, you're talking about basically using a watermark in the middle of the page, and that's not going to work. I mean, people do it. It's kind of an overused technique, actually. Basically, what some companies do or some designers do is put the logo up there and then put a big watermark on the logo, where they set back the opacity considerably. And I don't think it's a good practice in a letterhead at all. I think that your best bet is right here. Logo upper left-hand corner, but don't forget your contact information. I think the great place for contact information is down there, the bottom, because it just leaves this whole open space to use for the live area of the letterhead. And the contact area at the bottom there, you can use, return address, fax, email, website, etc., telephone, and I did say a return address. So address of Guardian Network. So think about that. I think that would be your most consistent bet there. Now moving forward to the business cards, I think that again, if you were to keep that consistent, that placement upper left-hand corner, and maybe right there, and then assemble your contact information right there, I think that will hold a real nice harmony and a good visual continuation from the letterhead to the business card. The envelope, the same thing, really. You don't want to introduce any of these new lines or design elements. And the most versatile place to keep the logo in this situation is, you guessed it, again, upper left-hand corner. You wouldn't want to use a ghosted screen back version of the logo in the middle of the envelope, because it quite conceivably will interfere with the address information. And then down here at the bottom, a lot of times post office doesn't allow that, placing graphics like near the bottom, because I think a lot of times the post office uses that area to put stamps and codes and things. So, and plus it just doesn't make sense to me. I think the one thing that if I were the client, I would say, hey, I want my logo to be right up here where as we tend to look at a composition from the upper left down. That's where I want my logo. It's called the point of entry, and that's why I'm suggesting that you use that upper left-hand corner to your advantage, because we do start any composition in the upper left. So that's prime real estate right there. So I would suggest treating it as such, using it as so, and maybe exploiting it to help your client's logo become the first thing visible on all three of these business stationery pieces. Okay, good job. Any questions? Go ahead and move forward to the next step. And if you have any questions moving forward, please let me know. Okay, good job. Thank you.